turning under this great lady here, Miss Hattie Ross, 5th District of York County, Rock Hill. And we just had a meeting there at Rock Hill Saturday. It was fabulous, great, it was awesome at Golden Corral. I had an awesome time. The information was more than filling, if you will. Not just the food for your stomach, but the food for thought and knowledge. It was just beautiful. But Miss Hattie asked me to speak something that's coming from my heart. And although I'm interning for Columbia College, this is more than an internship for me because I see things coming up. You know, it's like if you pay attention, just sit around, sit down, and sit quietly. It speaks to you. So this is not by chance that I'm here, and I recognize that. But while I'm here, you know, there's a message that needs to be spoken. Not only with social justice here for Democrats, we speak about the change with voter ID. We speak about the change for health care. We speak about the change for just justice, not for the few, but for all of us. With that said, there is something that was speaking to me, and I was speaking with my professor because there's a project I'm working on. And it happened to be about Time Warner Cable. I know it sounds like, why Time Warner Cable? For me, Time Warner Cable has been just a problem for me. And I wanted to reach out some kind of way. He said, well, instead of thinking of it as an individualistically thinking, think of it more broader. Think about the haves versus the have-nots. And I said, okay, that's a good concept. You know, that's pretty good. So what I did, I got on the internet and I just Googled Time Warner Cable, internet, the haves versus the have-nots. I was blown away. I like to just read something that I had written to my professor because I felt just in that moment what I found. So if you'll allow me a few moments, please. Okay, so for this, I wrote that my advocacy project will be based from Time Warner Cable and who in our immediate area, South Carolina, has Time Warner Cable and who does not. I said here, my first step was to Google who is contracted for cable and who isn't. And there was an article that was written by a gentleman by Jerry Smith. But I went on to write 2010 Orangeburg and ONSI received federal funding for broadband and the internet. But they may very well be the first and last to receive such funding. A bill passed by legislatures to restrict municipal broadband. How would this affect the already 26 million people without internet? Well, for starters, without internet, people have no clear way to find jobs through such portals, such as job search, job.coms, etc. The people also have no way to access online education, health care, and businesses. And there's also, they have no way of connecting with outside of their own realm to reach out across the world. That's what the internet does. It gives you the ability to go anywhere. And without broadband or even the internet, specifically in rural areas, keeps you from linking, connecting with those that you would ordinarily connect with. So in my research and finding that little bit of information, I found that there are more rural areas right here in South Carolina. I'm thinking globally, but I'm acting locally because right here where I live, I'm in Lexington, so you know that's something I never thought about. But those that are in rural areas, I did a little bit more research and found that with Time Warner Cable and Verizon, they said that they don't make enough money, it's not enough money to run the cable in these rural areas. So we're going to exclude these people. How dare you? I mean, there's money that's being spent throughout South Carolina, but there are those that will come in and decide who receives what and who does not. You ask why? It's all about that dollar. But here's the thing. See, thinking I have internet, everybody should have internet. The government wants to come in and give special pricing specifically for the municipal courts. That way, broadband, you can at least pick up that internet from your courts, from your court system, from the municipal courts. It's amazing what internet is doing now. But with that said, Time Warner Cable and Verizon, and there's a couple more other big companies, corporations that are fighting against this. Orangeburg, ONSI, they were like the, not I'm gonna say guinea pigs because they got their internet, but it came with a price because they're fighting so hard to prevent any other rural areas to gain access, not only to the world, but something more basic, education, healthcare, and just reaching to your neighbor to send an email. That is injustice. That is not justice. Okay? That is not justice. And social justice, not only fighting for the rights to vote, not only fighting for the rights of your health care, not only fighting for the rights of education, but internet. Something that we never even think about unless you're there and you don't have. These are the haves versus the have-nots. In the words of Martin Luther King, he says, little justice in a small place is injustice in a large place. You know, and there's injustice in these rural areas. There's injustice throughout this great state of South Carolina. And we need to get together. We need to fight for our rights, even on the smallest scales as the internet. And with that, I'll give it back to Ms. Haddon. Thank you.
You're my friend. I'm going to really, you're my friend.
You have a question for me?
No, I want to share something with you. What really brought me into this whole political realm is because we had BC Summer Nuclear Power Plant. Okay, we do not have high-speed internet.
Say yes.
Okay, which is asinine
Yes.
to me.
Yes.
So, and then I learned, and in your research, you may learn, they had Time Warner and Frontier had this universal charge. So we've been paying all these years, but because, I like the word injustice, but because we're in a rural area, even though we've been paying for this now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? When I asked for this, so you're telling me that I've been paying over 30 years of having, because if you look at the phone bill, this is the universal charge.
Yes.
Okay, over 20 years of having a phone and this universal charge, because we're not heavily populated where I live, you can't read.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I like the word injustice.
Yes, sir.
Verizon also.
I'm sorry.
And Frontier and Verizon send out advertising saying for $19.99 a month you can get internet. But you call them and tell them where you live, oh, we don't have that there.
Exactly. I agree with you, and it's just amazing. I tell you, it's not by chance that I'm here speaking on this, because this is one of the areas that are not receiving the internet.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
I just wanted to, just for there to hear, just shed a little light and understand. I understand.
But you see, Ms. Jacobs lives so far out in the country, they have to bring water.
Yes, and that's not fair. That's not fair.
We are right off Route 21,
Yes, ma'am.
and we had Verizon landline, but we do not have Verizon internet.
Exactly. And Verizon and Time Warner have linked up. You know, these corporations are making money hand over fist, and they have their lobbyists in place that are fighting against to have, quote, these rural areas, just to be accommodated just like urban areas. and they said there's not enough money there. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now that we know the problem, how do we fix it?
What I asked for you to do, write your legislature and send a letter and ask, why don't we have internet? I mean, because this, what it does, it wakes them up and realize that now you know. Now I know. So can you answer me this? Why don't I have internet?
And
Because
organizing
believe you
together.
me, living in Lexington, Joe Wilson, he's my legislature.
Oh.
I will be writing him.
Sorry.
I know, I'm so sorry too, yeah. Yes, but,
I don't think we're any better off.
No. But working together,
yes.
working
And that's
together.
information I wanted to share tonight. And this message, I will not stop because this is something that I feel very passionate about. Living in America, and yet we're limited. No, this is the millennium.
And that's part of organizing and getting together and having,
Yes,
having
Sherry.
decisions and.
Yes,
and
ma'am,
So
absolutely.
it all comes back to, we need to work together. No
Yes.
matter what, we need to work together.
And SCDWC South Carolina Democratic Women's Council rock. The reason why I say that because they're bringing a change. Because the fight, it's not over. It's only begun. We may be a little bit as compared to Virginia or other places, but the fight continues. We will never give up. We were not born running. Okay? We're okay. We're right where we need to be. Informed.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.